You will never die if you are remembered. Look at how she is remembered this day.
She was quite a trailblazer. Went to PC through ROTC and became the first female pilot to be killed in action in the history of the United States. Here in Easley.
We remember our Kimberly, our hometown hero, who grew up among us, answered the call to serve her nation, and gave her all for us in Iraq.
She will not be forgotten.
Dale and I had been married 12 years when Kimberly was born, and she was truly our miracle baby. Initially, she had issues with her feet and had to wear big clunky shoes.
Orthopedic shoes.
Yeah, and the doctor had told us she would probably never be able to run. That was tough, but we took her for another opinion. He said, throw those shoes in the trash can, get her some sandals, some tennis shoes, let her go barefooted. We threw those shoes in the trash can. She started running and never stopped.
She was a great kid. She wasn't perfect. None of us are, but she was a super child. She had a slight speech impediment when she was younger. A speech pathologist that came in, and just almost overnight, I think, just in a very few days, it was gone. She overcame that. When she started realizing the things that she was able to overcome, it gave her a lot of confidence, as Ann said. And she wanted to spread herself around, I think, and help other people too.
One teacher also told us that Kimberly liked to play soccer with the boys. And I said, "Oh." And she said, "No, she needs to, because she is so serious in the classroom. She needs to go out and let some steam off." So she said, "Don't discourage her from doing that." So that seemed to serve her well. Exercise was her way of letting steam off.
Relieving stress and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. But when it was time to be serious, she was focused 100%.
Even at a young age, she was a leader. She encouraged other leaders, and everybody loved her. There wasn't anybody at Easley High School who didn't love her. Kimberly was an encourager. She was a great athlete.
When I became principal, I wanted to start an ROTC program. If you were going to have a successful ROTC program, you had to have a top-notch student. The first name that came to our mind was Kimberly Hampton, and the rest is history. She became the first commander of the ROTC program at Easley High School. She was so personable with every student. Her personality, her smile. I would have to say that Kimberly was one of the top students that I ever had at Easley High School.
She wanted to excel, and she took those risks and used those leadership opportunities to develop her for later.
She never met a stranger. She could go in and talk with anybody, anywhere, anytime. Didn't matter what your position in a company was or what your position in life was. She met you at your place.
There was one child, a special education boy that was in high school. He would look sort of down sometimes, she would go over and sit with him and talk with him and just find out how he's doing, you know. And I think she actually helped some of them with their studies. It's just something we were not aware of that she did like that. It just thrills us to no end to know that she cared about people and she wanted to help other students. I think it's because people helped her along.
There were certain teachers and certain administrators at the high school who encouraged students. Kimberly, I think, was very receptive to that. I have said in the presence of some of those people, don't ever discount the influence that you have on these young people. We have been very fortunate in Easley to have outstanding educators. It takes a village to raise a child. Kimberly did not try to be better than anyone else. She just wanted to be the best that she could be. That pretty well summed up her life, just to be the best that she could be.
Kimberly was the kind of young lady that if you had a son, you wanted him to marry her.
She wrote a letter to Santa. She said she wanted to fly over the trees like a bird. That was the first time we had any indication that she had any desire to fly, and kept it. Mm-hmm. And the day she graduated from flight school in the Army, Ann gave it to her. And it just blew her away. And as she reflected back on that, she said, wow, it became true.
She came and took over the troop, took command of our troop. And I started flying with her then. An awesome commander, one that I would follow anywhere. If she asked me to go, I'd go.
You can look at all the pictures of Kimberly Hampton that are posted around, and one unique thing you'll see that's consistent is a big smile. Let me tell you what made her special. If she looked at you and gave you a wink when she's talking to you, at the end of that conversation, the soldiers would come back and say, did Captain Hampton give you a special wink at the end? That was her confirmation that you were a true cavalryman and that she thought the world of you. And I'm telling you, that came from the soldiers.
All the commanders that I've had, she's the most energetic troop commanders. And the fact that she was a female didn't in any way hinder her. She stepped right up there with the best of them, and she's just an inspirational leader, and you know, anybody would follow her.
I'll never forget the day when she passed away.
Leaving out that morning, she was in the first team up. I was in the relieving team. Shortly after we left station, we went to the FARP to get more fuel, and then as we were coming back out to go relieve their flight, we got the call that there was a Kiowa down. So we flew in and identified the wreckage of the aircraft, and ultimately, stayed on station until we were able to get her and her pilot transferred out to the base.
I remember how the whole community took a gasp. The whole community, because she's our daughter. She's our community's daughter. And I remember the conversations I would share with her father after she died. How he would come by and he would talk, and how we prayed together. And to imagine what they have given up.
She loved what she did, and she gave her life doing what she loved to do.
She took that oath willingly and ready to make a sacrifice if she had to. Captain Kimberly Hampton was special.
She lived her dream. It didn't come easy. She had to work hard to make it happen. But if it's important to you, just focus work hard, be steady, and go for it. I think those would probably be Kimberly's words. If you want
I
to
agree.
go for it.
I heard Ann say one time the reason for writing her book, if she ever got into a nursing home where maybe that she couldn't remember things about her daughter, maybe someone could read to her and tell her about her Kimberly's life story. That just, again, struck my heart. That her only child was taken away from them way too early at the age of 27. The vision was bringing a helicopter to a park where it could tell the story about Kimberly and seeing the actual helicopter or the actual type helicopter that she flew.
I started on this rendering. It was a vision of mine, but a vision became a mission. It turned into Operation Dragonfly.
Kimberly has the distinction of being the first female pilot killed in combat in United States history. And I think it's important that Easley, her hometown, honor her and not forget that, but also as an inspiration to others who served our country and all the ones who will serve our country for our freedom.
We had no idea that anyone was thinking of something like that. We, of course, had never pursued that at all. When they opened up Jim's sketch that night, it was like, oh my, you really want to do this? And it touched us so much.
Naming Operation Dragonfly was intentionally very symbolic. The term operation reflects the military aspect of the mission and the project, whereas the symbolism of Dragonfly is twofold. Dragonflies not only look like helicopters, but they also mimic the flight of a helicopter. Then from time to time, they would see a dragonfly. This just provided comfort for Ann and Dale, just reminding them of their daughter.
It's amazing when city, county, state, federal, along with all the citizens work together, something like this can be accomplished.
Thanks particularly to Jim. He went after it. He says, we're going to get this thing done. And he did. And I think the entire community fell in behind him. We're so proud. We're just bursting with pride that people have honored Kimberly and her sacrifice the way they have.
I think in the future, families will come here. It's a peaceful setting. They'll learn about Captain Hampton. They'll learn about the sacrifices that not only did the Hamptons make, both Captain Hampton and her parents, but also what other people, what other families make to for our country, and so that we can be safe. So I think this will be a place in the future that will honor that.
I want my grandkids, I want my great-grandkids to come here, and I want them to read about the historical aspect of what this is all about.
I've already brought my grandson out, Conrad, who's 2.5, and right now he's just amazed at the helicopter. He doesn't know the story. But I look forward to bringing him out, and as other families bring their children and grandchildren and family members out and read the storyboards that surrounds the park, and seeing the other veterans' names in the park, and just to know that so many people have believed in what they're doing and gave their life.
When young people come and see this, they will be prompted and inspired to give their very best.
I can't wait for my own Hampton to come here and learn about her namesake, and we're teaching her every day about who Kimberly was and freedom.
This thing has come full circle now, and the fact that there is a helicopter here sort of brings the two of them together again, and it does help us. It's hard for me to describe, but we just feel like it is done. We we know she's happy, and it does help heal us.
Our tennis team, we love to sing patriotic songs, and the song that we most loved was Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. And every time they have played that in an event that honors veterans or those killed in action, I just think about how her having sung that song in high school, she actually lived that out.
There's female pilots in Afghanistan and Iraq today. That's a real honor to her.
You're looking at the legacy here. Children growing up in this environment here have something to look forward to when they come here and see this and learn about what she has done and what she's all about.
The idea that she is a hero to this era here, it's just hard for us to comprehend. It really is, but we're learning more ourselves about our own daughter.
Now, to the citizens of Easley and Pickens County, Kimberly is your daughter. This is home for her, always was, always will be. To the veterans who are here, Kimberly was your sister in arms.
She would much rather have been recognized as a hero for helping other people. She was in it because she loved her country, and she was just doing her job. But she is a hero. She's always been our hero, and we're so proud of her. I wish there was a way to describe it fully.
This memorial represents, yes, Captain Kimberly Hampton, but it also represents every soldier, every Gold Star family member who's gone through that bereavement process.
I have a daughter who I've named Hampton, and I'm teaching my children every day to appreciate the country in which we live and not to take those freedoms for granted.
Veterans, on behalf of this great country, on behalf of the world, so many veterans of these United States saved. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for what you were willing to do. Thank you for what you live with.
She actually died for our freedom.
I'm a blessed man. I've always been taught to give back, to leave the world in a better place than you found it. I've tried to use my God-given talents in my church and now my community. From conception to completion, I've used this phrase, let's get this done. Well, Operation Dragonfly, we got it done. We got it done. Thank you very much.
There'll be a young lady who'll come here and she'll be inspired. And she'll go down the road that Kimberly went. And that will be a tribute to Kimberly. There'll be a lot of young guys come here too and be inspired.
Freedom's not free, guys. Don't ever take it for granted.
Remarkably, I always told her she was my hero when she did things that she was proud of, and I knew she was. I told her, you're my hero. We sincerely hope that some of the young people coming along will be inspired if they'll read Kimberly's story out there and take it to heart, that they can overcome any obstacles if they'll be determined and focused and realize that it can be done. You just got to believe in yourself and give everything you have. And that makes us feel really good, really good. We know she won't be forgotten.